Lesson 7.5, we're going to talk about exponential functions. An exponential function is a function of the form y equals a, b, x, where a cannot be 0, so a is any number but 0. B has to be greater than 0, so we only have positive values for b, and b cannot be 1. So greater than 0 cannot be equal to 1, but it can be like a half, it can be 3/4, just can't be equal to 1. Notice that the base is a constant and the exponent is a variable. Exponential functions are non-linear. So an exponential function is a function that can be described. So y equals 2 times 3, the x is exponential. Y equals 4 to the x is exponential. Y is equal to 1/2 x is exponential. So these are all exponential because the power is a variable, so it increases. Or decreases in some cases. We could have exponential growth and exponential decay, which we will talk about later this week. So it says graph y equals 3x and find the y-intercept, and then state the domain and range. Now with anything, we can graph using a table. So you could set up a table, substitute 1 in for x, 0 in for x, all that stuff. But the easiest way to do it for us will be to just graph it on the graphing calculator. So y, go into your y equals, and then type in 3 to the power of x. Remember, x is right here by the green alpha button. Go ahead and hit graph, and then we come back, and that's what it looks like. So now, though, what's got to be careful with this is it looks like it's on the x-axis. This blue line looks like it's on the x-axis, but if we zoom in a little bit more, we're going to see that it actually isn't. So like if I go into zoom and change my, or not zoom, I'm sorry, if I go into my window and I change my y min to, instead of -10, let's change that to -2. And we'll go to 10, that's fine. Hit graph again. Again, it still looks like that, but I'm just saying it doesn't get that close to, it's very, very, very close to it, but it doesn't. All right, so there's our graph. The question was asking to find the y-intercept and then state the domain and the range. So the y-intercept, if we want to find that, we can go to second calc, and we want to find a value, 1. So we want to find when x is equal to 0, because that's where the y-intercept would be anytime x is equal to 0. Hit enter, and there's your y-intercept, 1. So our y-intercept is 1. So again, if I want to find the y-intercept, I go to second, trace, to get calc, and then I want to calculate a value, and I know x is always 0 for the y-intercept. Okay, so now state the domain and range. So the domain is what goes in, and I can put anything I want in for x, because that's what's going into our equation, is all the values for x. So I can put anything I want in for x. And then you notice what came out. I'm just going to draw this real quick here. We had something that looked like this. What came out, though, notice nothing below the x-axis came out. So the y-intercept was equal to 1. And then the domain, we said, were all real numbers, because we can put anything we want in. And the range would be y is greater than or equal to, no, it's not equal to, sorry, y is greater than 0. Can't be equal to because it'll never hit that line. So there is your domain, and that is your range. All right, the key features of graphs of exponential functions can be summarized as follows. So here's just like what exponential growth and exponential decay look like. So it grows either really, really fast or decreases really, really fast. And then just again, a, b to the x, a is greater than 0, b is greater than 0, domain, range, all reals, all positive reals, shows you what the intercepts are. End behavior, remember we read a graph left to right, so the end behavior as x is increasing, the function increases as x decreases, f of x approaches 0. It never touches 0. It approaches it, never touches it. And then you can look at exponential decay. And we're going to work a little bit more with that later this week. All right, soda. The function c equals 179 times 1.029 to the t models the amount of soda consumed in the world, where c is the amount consumed in billions of liters and t is the number of years since 2000. Graph the function. What values of c and t are meaningful in the context of the problem? All right, so with this, we want to go ahead and graph this function. So you got to be careful though. Look at our numbers, 179, 1.029. So we have to be careful of that. But if we go to our y equals, clear what we had in there, and then 179 times 1.029029, close the parentheses, to the power of t. We're just going to use x. It's not the same. Enter. Go ahead and graph it, and notice, I don't have it. So we need to be able to adjust our scale. So what we can adjust our scale to is, let's do, and you know, it's a matter of just thinking outside the box and knowing what your values are. So I'm just going to do negative 50 to 50. I'm going to do, let's do 0 to 350. Graph it. And there I have something that looks like that. If I want to get, I can get a little bit closer to this again. I can do my scales by 10. So I could go back in the window. Instead of doing by ones, because it's a big range, 0 to 350, I can do by a scale of 10 for that. And then the same thing down here. Maybe I want to go a little bit bigger. Maybe I want to keep it smaller, but maybe I'll do a scale of 25, hit graph, and there. So now I can see it a little bit better. Now the space is in between, but I notice that it is exponential growth. All right, so then they want to know what values of c and t are meaningful in the context. Well, we know that t represents time. So obviously we want time to be greater than 0. We wouldn't want anything less than 0 because it doesn't make sense for time. So anything for t greater than 0. So t we would want to be greater than 0 to see that. At t equals 0, the consumption is 179 billion liters, because if you go back to the graph here, at t equals 0, if you come up, you're going to get that 179. That's where it crosses the y-axis. So what values, it says what values of c and t are meaningful in this context. So we're going to have values, obviously c is greater than 179. How much soda was consumed in 2005? All right, so we had c equals 179. Notice again, this was your y-intercept, times 1.029, because that is the rate at which is it increasing. And then to the t, so 2005 is 5 years from 2000. Let's go back to our calculators. Let's get out of the graphing, second mode. And then it's 179 times 1.029 raised to the power of 5. And we get 206.5 billion liters for our answer here. So then C equals 206.5 billion liters. And that's how much is consumed. And the last one, identify exponential behavior. Recall that linear functions have a constant rate of change. Exponential functions do not. but they have constant ratios. Determine whether the set of data shown below displays an exponential behavior. Write yes or no and explain why or why not. Look for a pattern. So I'm looking at this and I notice that 64 to 32, 32 to 16, I notice that I'm dividing by 16, okay? Dividing by 16, or basically I'm sorry, not divide by 16. Dividing by 2, but we don't say divide by 2, we want to say multiply by a half. We always say multiply. Even though I know we're thinking division, it's multiplying by a fraction. So because we're multiplying by a half every single time, okay, because we're multiplying by a half, this is exponential. So that's the pattern because of the multiplication of that part. Now, obviously method 2 would be to graph the data. So you could go into your table function, graph that into your table function. So go here, go stat, edit, and it was 0, 5, 10, 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, whoops, go back up to here, 15, 20, 25, and then we had 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, enter, go to graph, go to stat, go to calc. I know it's exponential, like I said, so we want to actually go down here to find, keep going, exponential regression, EXP reg, hit enter, 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 and there's our equation. So A equals 64, B equals that 0.87. You would type that into Y equals. You could come back here and it's only in quadrant 1. So you could say, okay, here's 64, have a point there. At 5, we'll say this is 5, we'll count by 5s, there's 10. We're cutting it in half, so there's 5. 10, we're cutting that in half again. So you see, and this is actually going to be exponential decay, so you can graph it that way as well.